Hello, and welcome to the first video or edition of the Medeek HVAC plugin. My name is Nathaniel P. Wilkerson, and today I wanted to show you guys what I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. So just to be aware, this new plugin, which is called the Medeek HVAC plugin, which is part of the Medeek MEP bundle, or will be, is specifically, of course, for HVAC, which is heating, venting, ventilation, and air conditioning. And so right now, at the time of making of this video, this plugin is what I would consider in the, not even the beta stage, it's more like the alpha stage. So there probably will be quite a few things that change as I further refine and update and add more features. So just to be aware of that, but this will be a brief overview of the extension. So right off the bat, we have right here, as I'm showing you, we have basically three toolbars. So we have the basic, the primary one, which is the Medeek HVAC toolbar, which allows you to start creating duct assemblies. And then we have this fittings. So basically we're adding fittings to the end of the ducts. And then here we have specifically, this is for doing HVAC appliances like furnaces, AC units, heat pumps, that sort of thing. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. I'll go ahead and put these back if we can find room here in our toolbar here. Actually, I'm going to move, just disable a few of these right now. We've got a lot of toolbars floating around here that probably we don't need. Okay, so right off the bat, global settings, just like every other plugin that I've created, and as you can see, looks pretty standard, pretty comparable to all the other ones. Things to note here, we have HVAC label callouts, fitting label callouts, and appliance label callouts, so you can turn those all on and off. Layers, there's a few layers, not very many yet. And custom material library, just like all the other extensions. Now some of this will be updated. Obviously we probably don't need lumber, but I haven't removed that yet, just in case. Ductwork and appliances, right now these are currently under construction, and once I get these completed or get them a little more fleshed out, then I will probably be putting out another video explaining all the details with that. So yeah, pretty much the same thing as the other extensions, very similar to the floor and the electrical extensions. All right, so let's get going here. I'm just going to put down a grid. I like using my little grid tool. You can also use the grid tool that's found in the SketchUp warehouse. But I like mine because you have this kind of major and minor grid lines. So the easiest way to get started with the duct assemblies is we just start drawing some edges, some lines. That's really all there is to it. Just throw down some lines, kind of however you want to go here. I'm going to put like a T intersection here. I'm not going to make this too complicated, just so we have it fairly simple. Just one or two branch lines here. Yeah, let's run a branch off over here somewhere. Okay. All right, and then I'm gonna maybe lengthen this guy out just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but anyways, so you kind of lay out your, the basic skeleton, I guess you can call it, of where you want your ducts to go, kind of your trunk line with your branches coming off it. So you basically just have a bunch of edges. You don't need to group it or anything like that. Then you just go ahead here and you click the Draw Duct Assembly tool. So I'll do that, and as soon as I do that, you're going to see this menu come up, and basically these will give you kind of your default duct dimensions and type. And then once we get that created, we can go ahead and then start modifying things, right? So you can go ahead and like select each one of these. Like if you want to select like three of these and then create a duct assembly, then get the others and make another separate duct assembly, you can do that. The other way you can do, or what you can do, is you can actually just stretch a window. I think I've got that enabled now. Of course, if you do now, notice it's unselected the ones that you had previously selected, but you can just window over those, pick those up, and then once you've got everything you want selected, they should all turn blue. And I think I'm going to change this, just to make this a little different here. Let's go, say, 2414. And then I'm just going to hit, first hit update, and then go ahead and draw assembly. Okay, so there we go. So now we've got our assembly. Okay, and as you can see, the ducts have been created, but these branch ducts are obviously the wrong size. So what you can do is you can go in here and you can click this next one down, the third one over is edit segment and then edit node, okay? So first of all, we're going to edit some of these segments. And when you click that, you'll notice you kind of get this transparent wireframe sort of thing happening. And there's a good reason why I do this. So I'm actually hiding the actual ducts and I'm presenting to you a bunch of primitives that you can mouse over and select. And the reason is because sometimes when you get ducts that are right next to each other or something, they may not actually be drawn, but the primitive will still exist. So anyways, we'll get into that later, but let's just go ahead and click one of those here, and I'm going to change this now to a branch line. I'm going to make that round, and then I want to go like, let's say 6 inches. Okay, so let me go ahead and update on that. And you can see now we've got ourselves a branch line, right? Now, if I click, I can actually jump out of this and click it again and select another segment, but I also have this convenient little thing here where you can click next segment, and you'll notice that it will mouse or highlight each segment. And you can see it kind of has selected them in a random order. There's not any real rhyme or reason to which ones, like it has a segment name that it's assigned them. So at some point, I'm probably going to add a renumbering tool so you can purposely renumber your segments to what, kind of what I have for the wall tool. But we'll get into that. Okay, so we've highlighted the right one. I'm then going to change this one to a round as well. And let's go 6 inches on that. And then I'm click update. All right, so there we go. There's our trunk line. There's a couple branch lines coming off it. I could, I get into this a lot more, what we can do. But let's go ahead now and throw a couple fittings onto the ends of these branches. So you're going to notice when you click the fitting tool, which is this guy right here, draw fitting, you will have a little preview screen showing you what your fitting looks like. And I've got a bunch more, obviously, I need to add in. I've just barely started adding them in. And I will go into the part numbers later, but basically you've got different, you'll start with the style of the boot, and then you'll go into the register dimensions, and then the last dimension is the diameter of the round pipe usually. So like, for instance, this one here is a 6-inch pipe, but if I wanted to do a boot that's a center end boot, let's see, 6 inches, now you can see it looks more like that. So let's go ahead and apply one of those right there. And you see, as you mouse over these nodes, as I call them, it will highlight blue, and then you can select it to put it there. So I'm going to change that one though. I'm going to go back to this 90-degree one, hit update on that, and then just mouse over right here. Oh, I think there we go. Sorry, and there we go. Okay, so you can see you can add your fittings or boots or registers, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. And of course, just like the other plugins, you have the ability to edit and delete and regenerate them as need be. So for instance, if I want to get rid of this one, I can just mouse over it and it's gone. And I can add another one back. Let's say I want to add this one back. Sometimes you got to get the mouse over top here. There we go. All right. So that's pretty much the basics on that. Now there's a bunch more features that I'm adding in, and you'll notice, for instance, let's talk about these T's now, right? We've got basically a situation here where we've got this 6-inch pipe or duct coming into this trunk line. So what you have is the node editor, right? So you click on this and you'll notice that it basically hides everything and shows you these little primitives for the nodes. So you can click any node you like, of course. I'm going to just click right here and bring that over here. The first thing you'll notice is that the fitting transition at that node is none. And obviously nothing's highlighted because it doesn't have anything to highlight. There's nothing there. But I'm going to go ahead and change that to a T intersection. And let's just try let's put 24 in there for that, and 20, 30. Well, let's go a little larger here so we can make sure we can visualize it better. All right. And I'll explain to you what these lengths mean. Okay, so length 1, right? There's length 1 and length 2. So length 1 is the length from the center along the main trunk line, right? And then length 2 is the distance from the center line of the node to the branch or T that's coming off. So for instance, if we wanted to extend that further, we could just update that, and you'll notice that's what's happening there. Okay, and then just like the edge edit tool, or segment edit tool, sorry, we have the ability to basically toggle through all the different nodes, and we can change them as we see fit. So we can actually even jump over to the fittings. And if you have a fitting like this, you'll notice that this pops up where you can actually go into the edit menu for the fitting itself. But we're not going to worry about that right now. Okay, so now we're at this node here, right? And you'll notice too, when you have a node that has nothing assigned to it, it's going to show these primitives, right? So notice how the primitives went away, and now the primitive is back because it's looking at this node at the very end. Okay, so same thing there. So I'm going to go here, here, and then it removes them, and then it goes back. Okay, so right there, I want to go ahead and set that to a T. All right, if we put 12, 12 there, I'm not sure what's going to happen. Yeah, it ends up like that. Okay, and see what happens is because it's 12 inches wide there, it's not extending that out any. So let's try, like, say 14 there, just to show you what I mean. Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty much it with the node editor. I mean, there's probably a few things I've got to work out with the kinks, but that's pretty much it. And then, so I really haven't gotten to transitions yet, but let's let me pause the video for a second. I'm gonna think about that, and then I wanna add a little bit on with transitions and how we deal with that specifically. So. So yeah, let's look at this, what happens now with our layers here. So what you can do is, you'll notice there's going to be hidden layers and there's outline layers, right? So I really haven't used the outline 2 layer yet, but I probably will. So I'm going to turn off the duct layer, and the fittings are on, and then I'm going to actually turn on the primitive hidden layer, and you will see these primitives are always there actually. It's just they're hidden and you're not seeing them. And then I'm going to actually turn on this outline layer. And so that actually is the backbone. This is what's defining the path that the ducts are taking. And so you can actually edit this at any time. You can get in here and change that up. So I'm going to hide everything except that and the fittings. The fittings, of course, are on a separate layer as well. So let's just leave those. We don't need to worry about those. But if you jump into this group, you're going to notice, and actually I need to turn my grid off right now just because it gets in the way. Okay, so you'll notice you'll have what's called HVAC outline, _outline, right? So that is the, like I said, kind of the skeleton that's always there, and it's kind of a system layer, system group. So if you click into that though, which I've just done, now you can edit this. So you can remove edges to get rid of duct places. You can move the edges. You can add additional ones. So that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to add in a 8-foot section, and then I'm just going to throw another section here going 144 inches out. Okay, so now watch what happens when I do this. So what happens is I've just added a couple edges into this group, and then I'm going to jump out of that group, and I'm just going to turn off, let's just turn off this, turn the duct back on. And we don't have to turn all this on and off, but I'm just doing it so you can see it here better. Okay, so we've got that additional edges in there, right? I'm going to leave, well, let's just leave that on. Okay, so what I do is I regen the duct assembly. Now you can see that it's added those, it's added those additional ducts as part of the whole assembly, right? And yeah, you can toggle these hidden layers off as much as you want to. It doesn't really matter. The point is that I wanted to show you is that, so right here, I mean, I could actually do a transition here, right? But what I want to do is I want to take these 3 sections and I want to neck those down to something smaller. And I know this video is getting long, but I'm trying to keep it reasonably short. Okay, so let's say we leave it at 14 high, and let's go say let's say 18 here, right? Okay. Okay, so now you can see we're making this a bit narrower. I'm going to go to the previous segment, and I'm going to change this to 18 as well. Okay, and then I'm going to go to this particular node as well, this bend, and see I can specify the duct width of this rectangular bend piece right here. Okay, so now I've got that all nicely set up. Okay, so right here, I'm going from a large trunk line and I'm necking down to this 18-inch trunk line, right? So I want to add a transition in there. And so that's what I was meaning by transition. So basically we have, for the main trunk lines, we really have bends where you have 2 edges coming together. We have a T where you have 3 edges coming together at a single node. And then we have a transition where we basically have 2 edges coming together, and it's not a bend, but it's just simply a transition. And so it's a little bit different. So what we do is we just click the Edit Node tool, and now I'm going to switch this from nothing, where it says none, to a transition, okay? And the transition length, you can set that however you want. I'm going to set it, say, 30 inches. And you can see that it makes that transition. Okay. So there's also situations too where you might, you might want to offset something or whatever. And so you can always do that. You can edit this edge, for instance. Let's say we offset horizontally by 2 inches. And you can see it shifts things over, and it shifts that over as well. You can even offset all this, but yeah, it gives you the ability to offset vertically and horizontally. And again, I haven't really tested all of this out as much as I would like to, but so far it seems fairly robust. But again, I might make some additional edits and such to make it a little more robust as things go along. Okay, so that's basically it for duct editing. There is more to it. I've added an outline editor, so you can actually get in there and edit the whole outline really quickly. If you click on this and then click on this, it will basically hide everything, take care of all the hiding the edges, and drop you into this group pretty much. And then you can jump in there and add edges as need be. So but there's nothing saying you can't manually do that as well. You can jump in there at any time and edit that outline. Right. So last but not least, let's just cover real quick the appliances. Okay, so let's put our grid back just so we have something to reference against. And the third toolbar here is very simple. Basically, you can draw appliances, and I've got a bunch more that I need to add in here, of course, but let's just click that real quick. And you'll see that you can first set the appliance type, whether it's AC, furnace, heat pump, etc. And I'm going to set a heat pump here. And then let's try, I don't know, train I think is the ones we have. Okay, so you'll notice here I've got a few listed. And I'm going to hit update on that. And then you just drag them right into the thing, and you'll see a little preview, and it kind of does it centered. And there you go. And that's just basically a standalone assembly. It's not connected to this duct assembly at all. Each one of these is just a standalone assembly. And then I've added in a few Goodman furnaces. I need to add in more, of course. But yeah, and it gives you a nice little preview. I've been working on that. So for instance, we can add in a furnace. And yeah, you can use the native tools. You can move these around, do whatever you need to do with them. Vertically rotate them, scale them, I guess, even if you want to. You have the edit tool here that you can go in here and you can swap it out with a different unit. So that one's a bigger one. But yeah, I just need to add in a lot more assets, so that's an actually useful tool at this point. But for now, it has a few, but not very many. All right, so pretty much that's it. Just a quick overview of the extension as it currently stands. Again, this is in alpha, not even beta. version, so I haven't even released it to the public yet, but I will be releasing it to some of my beta testers and see what they can break and what they can make work, and hopefully give me some good feedback. Again, guys, thank you for suggestions, and hopefully we can make this plugin as good as the other ones. All right, we will talk to you later.